Parts of Arkansas are still underwater this afternoon as state, city, and county leaders work to restore power, reopen roadways, and begin the recovery process after several rounds of severe weather. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Jurnee Taylor. We have a lot to catch up on, but first we want to check in with meteorologist Simone Thomas. Simone, are you looking at anything we saw last week compared to this week?
I think this week is going to be a nice makeup from last week. I'm sure a lot of people are looking for the sunshine, and it came back today. Now, the storm system responsible for the multiple rounds of severe weather is moving off across the southeastern United States, where we see a number of tornado watches extending from South Carolina through Georgia into Florida. But again, we're left with pretty clear skies here in the natural state. Now, we are looking to warm up to those middle and upper 60s this afternoon. I think right now we're around the middle 50s, but looking back over the last several days from April 2nd through April 6th, here are some of those locations across central Arkansas that recorded a foot of rainfall or more. So in North Little Rock, we were just shy of 13 inches of rain. Hot Springs Village in Saline County saw a little bit over 14 inches of rain. And the city of Hot Springs in Garland County saw just over a foot of rain, with Beebe and White County recording just under 13.5 inches of rain. So luckily, we don't have a lot of rain in the forecast for this week ahead. Things are going to be comparatively tranquil. We'll talk more about what you can expect through the rest of the week in that 7-day outlook.
All right, that's some good news. Thank you, Simone. Well, cleanup continues after a week of severe weather that brought tornadoes, heavy rain, and flooding to Arkansas. You're looking at video from the last several days. As you can tell, it was a tough week for people across the state. Fortunately, relief is on the way. Over the weekend, President Donald Trump approved Governor Sarah Sanders' request for federal disaster aid following last week's severe weather. That approval opens the door for federal funding to help with debris cleanup and emergency response efforts. Governor Sanders says emergency crews are working around the clock to keep communities safe. And while the rain has moved out, the impacts are hanging around. The governor says rising river levels across the state are already causing problems and putting extra strain on levees. Unfortunately, the severe weather left behind more than power outages and property damage. We now know that at least one person was killed as a result of the storms. According to officials, a 5-year-old was killed at a home on Mapleville Pike here in Little Rock. Meanwhile, another 2 people have been added to the list of injuries caused by the weather. That brings the statewide total to 13. Electric crews are still out working to restore power for the thousands that are still without it this afternoon. Here's how things are looking right now. 24,000 customers are still without power. As you can see, the 3 counties with the most outages are Pulaski, Saline, and Hot Spring, all areas that saw heavy rains and flooding Friday and Saturday. Now, the damage is extensive, and according to Entergy's Vice President of Reliability, Adam Efferin, it's going to take time. Power restoration is being done in phases, and crews are running into major obstacles like flood waters, washed out roads, large trees blocking access. Well, we caught up with Efren as another wave of linemen were getting ready to be deployed this morning. He says there's one thing you can do to help.
Working with power is very dangerous. Our linemen are very skilled craft workers. They have to go through an apprenticeship. It takes several years to do this. So while we like the fact that people want to help us, the best thing to do by helping us is just staying away from down power lines.
Entergy's goal is to have power restored to 90% of impacted customers by tonight, with the final 10% expected to be back online by Tuesday. Well, checking in on our roads now. This is a live look at the Department of Transportation's statewide map. As you can see, dozens of roads are still closed from down power lines, trees, and high water. Dave Parker with RDOT spoke with Wake Up Central earlier today, and he said while crews are busy getting the highways and interstates cleared and open, it's still going to take some time.
But a lot of highways in flatter lands, lower elevation, eastern part of the state, the southeast part, you're still going to have some flooding there through this week. Those are places that traditionally do flood, but that's not going to go down much this week at all. Some of those creeks and streams are still, rising water there. So slow week in some respects, but we'll get there by Thursday, Friday.
And those are just state highways and interstates. Dozens of city and county roads all across the state are still closed this afternoon. We have a complete list on THV11.com with the most up-to-date closures, and we'll have an update on how things are looking across the state tonight at 5 and 6. Well, stocks went on a bumpy ride after today's opening bell as markets continue to reel from President Trump's tariff strategy. On social media, the president urged Americans to be patient, but some Republican lawmakers are joining Democrats in sounding the alarm over an escalating trade war. Meanwhile, White House officials say more than 50 countries have called the president to try and negotiate. This comes as reciprocal tariffs from countries like Japan and Israel take effect later this week. So far, foreign-made medicines have been spared from President Trump's trade war, but the president recently said they could be his next target with an import tax as high as 25%. Andres Gutierrez shows us what those high tariffs could mean for your prescriptions.
70-year-old Marcia Cook juggles multiple generic prescriptions on a tight budget. Any hint of a possible price hike hits hard.
I have high blood pressure, and when you even speak of it, I can feel like a stressor coming up in my neck. I don't know what will be done. I don't know what I'll do.
Cook worries that tariffs on pharmaceuticals would send her costs soaring even higher.
That is $6. I have one that's 15.
Generic medicines make up 9 out of 10 prescriptions in the U.S., nearly half from India, which exports about $9 billion in generics to this country. Nearly all of our generics come from overseas. In a last-minute move, the White House excluded foreign-made prescription drugs, giving consumers a break for now.
When the tariff goes up, prices goes up, and it trickles down to the patients.
Nevada pharmacist Bobby Benson has even set up an IOU system for his customers and says some already ration their medications.
Are you concerned that some of your patients may end up getting sick or even worse because of this?
Yeah, I'm very worried. If you're on a blood pressure medication and you are cutting it in half or you're skipping a dose, there's a high chance of you getting a stroke.
According to ING Bank, a reciprocal tariff could push more common heart medication from 82 cents to 94 cents per pill, an extra $42 a year. Some complex treatments like generic cancer drugs might see a jump of 8 to 10 grand for a 6-month prescription. The nonprofit Care Chest helps with medical supplies and prescription costs.
Good morning.
Program Director Annabella Rivera says the need has doubled every year since 2023 with rising inflation.
As cost of living goes up, as cost of products go up, there are more and more people that are working and have insurance that are coming to us.
Antheline Trotter counts on the group. She's on multiple drugs for kidney disease and high blood pressure. The idea of paying more at the pharmacy keeps her up at night.
I wouldn't be able to get the proper medicine that I get if it goes up because I'm on a budget.
Marcia Cook isn't sure if President Trump's promise that short-term pain will lead to long-term gain.
I'm hoping that he knows what he's doing. But until then, I want to know from him, what are we going to do?
Here you go.
So for now, a short-term relief for an issue without a long-term solution. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Las Vegas.
Well, to add to that uncertainty, lawmakers here in Arkansas are now taking aim at pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs. A new bill would block PBMs from holding a pharmacy license in Arkansas, forcing them to choose between setting prices or dispensing medications. CVS Health is pushing back, warning it could limit access to care. However, supporters say it's about fairness for local pharmacies.
There'll be patients that will not have specialty services. It's just a lot of disruption, a lot of harmful care to patients. I would say it would be a catastrophic healthcare crisis that you will have.
The company that sets the price of the medicine, decides what pharmacy can be used, is also owning pharmacies and setting prices and terms that are more favorable to themselves at higher prices.
The bill will still let PBMs do business in Arkansas, but they would have to choose to either operate as a pharmacy or as a PBM, not both. Lawmakers are expected to debate the bill in the Senate on Tuesday. Later today, the city of Little Rock is hosting its first mobile city hall event. It's happening at Longley Baptist Church on Geyer Springs Road. Starting at 5, people in the area can visit the church to pay court fines, obtain police records, submit 311 requests, and more. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. says the series of events is a response to a pledge made during his State of the City address to increase community engagement. Keeping new mothers safe after childbirth. That's the mission behind a simple bracelet. How a hospital is hoping they will save lives still ahead.
And another frost advisory for North Central Arkansas is coming in the morning. We'll talk more details about this as well as the rest of the week right after the break.
And we've gotten so many pictures and videos of flooding and severe weather damage from viewers across Arkansas. Thank you for sending those our way. And you can keep sharing them to 501-376-1111. We're compiling them in a special article on THV11.com. You can head over there to check them out. We're back after this.